Hello everybody, this is Erica Serwin from Pink Buckaroo Designs. I want to show you how I decorated these cute mini muslin bags this week for Teacher Appreciation. I've had a request for decorating these bags, so I took the opportunity to use them for my daughter's teachers. I'm going to show you a few tips first. The mini muslin bags come in a package of 8 for $10, so they're a little bit more than $1 each. When you get ready to use yours, you want to make sure that it's smooth. This one right here, I would probably want to go take an iron to that. It is pretty wrinkly, and that could cause your stamped image to not work out very well. Another suggestion I have is to take a long piece of heavyweight cardboard. This is off of, I think, a glimmer paper pack, and I just cut it to fit down in there. All right, so when you look at your stamps, decide, which would work best. I use 3 different stamps for 3 different bags. So many of these could serve the purpose for Teacher Appreciation. The one I want to show you is Love is Kindness. This is a single stamp. And I am going to ink it in StazOn. And I'm going to color it in with my Stampin' Write markers in just a second. The StazOn is a good permanent ink, and you want to make sure your stamp pad is juicy enough to get all of that ink into the muslin. It's not going to ink as well as a piece of cardstock. Another thing that I learned while making these is to not stamp too high. When you gather this, if you stamp too high, you're not going to be able to see it. All right, so let me run that ink on there one more time. And be sure not to rock your stamp, because if you have any ink anywhere else on that block, it's going to bleed onto your muslin bag. Now mine looks a little grayish. It's not quite as dark, but that's okay. And you know what? Let's turn on the light. Maybe that'll help a little bit too. You're going to see what I'm going to do in a second to make those lines a little bit darker. So I'm going to start with Pink Pirouette, and I'm going to use the brush tip. And I'm going to, I don't really think there's a specific way to color this. I just am doing little strokes. You want to make sure to not get too crazy, because if you get out of the lines, then your muslin bag probably is ruined. You want to take your time and be careful. So I just did this for all the little tulips. One note of caution. As I'm coloring, I can see that StazOn isn't quite dry enough, so I should have probably waited a little bit. Also, if you do this a lot with your markers, your tip is probably going to fray a little bit. So decide, is it worth it? And I think for a project like this, sure. I used it several times yesterday and it didn't fray, but I think over time, because it's not a smooth surface, it might do that. So as the ink dries, it'll be a little bit lighter, and I like to go along those lines and kind of darken it up. Add a little bit of shading. All right, now I'm going to take 2 different grays. I'm using Pear Pizzazz and Wild Wasabi. And I'm going to take the writing tip of the Pear Pizzazz and just carefully go over those stems. Now, because the image is light, I can't see them as well as I might on a piece of paper. But that's okay, because you're just going to add it in there, and it's going to be, it's going to work out just fine. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Now I'm going to take the darker green and do a little bit in there also. And as these dry, they will fade. They're not going to be as dark as when you initially put them on there. Now I'm going to go back with my Pear Pizzazz and just kind of blend it all in. And I want it to be darker down there by the newspaper for sure, because that's where a shadow would be. It would be dark. Now I'm going to take my smoky slate marker, and I'm going to take the writing tip, and I'm just going to kind of go over that line. That's going to make it a little bit darker. And it looks like my StazOn pad probably needed to be inked a little bit more than it was. So make sure, do as I say, not as I do. I've been stamping a lot lately, and it seems like my inks all need to be re-inked. All right, so I outlined that. It gave it a little darker feel that way. Oops, let's get the Pear Pizzazz. That way it's not so light, and you can tell that it's wrapped there. So I would just go through here and finish these up, adding it as I go, letting it dry, seeing what I wanted to do. I like to go back to these tulips and make this, well, I think I want this, the brush end, make that inside a little bit darker. So just like that. And there you have it. You can use your Stampin' Write markers on these mini muslin bags. They work perfectly. Now let me show you another thing that I did. I used the earth from Let's Get Away, and I stamped it in Pacific Point. And you can see this is where I stamped a little bit higher. It would have been better maybe down here in the corner, because now my tag, where did my tag go? There it is. My tag is covering it up a little bit like that. Okay, and the other one that I did, oh, also for the words here, let me just get this off so you can see. For the words here, I used Back to Basics, the alphabet, and just did them one at a time and put World's Best Teacher. And I used my regular inks. I used the Stampin' Write marker to color in the land. And in case you want to see what's in here, every year I order these for their teachers as one of their gifts. It fits perfectly, a personalized stamp, and a little spot. And we can't order the spots anymore, but I keep the ones from my Paper Pumpkin kit. I have full ink pads, so I don't use them, and I just stash them away for things like this. The third one I did is You Rock, and all you have to do is color that in with one of the brown markers. And I made my tag using the, what's it called? Tag Talk stamp set. Has the coordinating artisan punch, I believe. Added a few little things on there on a clip and just clipped it right there. And here's this one with Blushing Bride. And there we have it. I'm also thinking I'm going to tuck a gift card for maybe a Sonic drink in here. Wouldn't that make a nice teacher's gift? Or any kind of gift. You could wrap all kinds of things in these mini muslin bags. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for stopping by today. Bye-bye.